EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the U.S. Open Championship. Today, we're here at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington for the U.S. Open Championship. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all of the action out on the course. And Frank, what can you tell us about this unusual layout?
It's actually the first golf course that Robert Trent Jones II has actually designed in Washington, and it just fits in beautifully with the environment. The Puget Sound really sets off the whole golf course. So it looks like a links golf course, but it can play in so many different ways. You can play it through the air, you can play it along the ground, and of course already it's hosted US Amateur and US Open.
Well, this one has a chance to be really good. That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Frank, you've been around this game for a pretty long time. Are players, in fact, more athletic today than they were, say, 20, 25 years ago?
There's no question, Rich, they are. That we've borrowed from other sports. If you can't make the player better, you can make them more athletic. And in the end, you're still making the golfer better.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par. Not a problem there, Rich.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Has his par. Second hole now here at Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open. Frank, it's a relatively short par 4.
It doesn't mean it's easy, though. This is more of a strategic hole. You want to lay the ball up around sort of 270, 280 yards, avoid that big bunker on the left. It is going to leave a short iron in, but the hole bends to the left as well as the slope of the land is right to left. Got to take that into account.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. Not a gimme, but well within his range. So the dominant performance continues.
Yeah, we're watching two tournaments right now, the one at the top and the rest.
Now set to play the first par 3 of this U.S. Open, Frank, the third hole here at Chambers Bay.
A little bit like the second hole where the contours slope from right to left. So if that breeze is coming from that direction, that's going to swing the ball all the way across the green. And this green is anything other than symmetrical. Rich, it's gone.
In the hole. You do not see that every day. That, folks, is a hole-in-one. Wow. Frank, so often a U.S. Open is defined by difficult par 4s. How does the fourth here at Chambers Bay stack up?
Well, Richard, adds to your list here. 495 yards, that says one thing, but the fact that it's anything other than straight, bunkers left and down the right side, plus the hole bends to the right, so this is a very strategic hole. If anything, something slightly left of center, but you're still going to have a lengthy second shot.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Down, little Sheba, down! Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Nice solid start to the round. Tee to green looks to be in command.
Yeah, it's surprising. I thought he might have been a little shaky out of the gate, but certainly proved me wrong.
There you have it. The second round is complete. Another solid effort put together, and it shows on the scorecard.
And after 2 rounds, you really start to see not only who's playing well, but who's consistent.
EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the U.S. Open Championship. Hello again and welcome to the U.S. Open. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We're here at Chambers Bay with those massive rolling fairways, the towering dunes, unpredictable coastal winds. What a test, Frank, for the best players in the world.
That's right, and it's going to be the first time these professionals are going to play it. We've seen it host a U.S. Amateur in the past, and this is a daunting test, especially if the wind gets up. There's enough bunkers out there to trap the best players in the world. Those greens fast and firm enough to repel any shot that's not struck perfectly. Rich, so often we've seen weird things happen at the US Open. The late Payne Stewart, the ball moving on the 18th green. Too often they push the player closer and closer to the edge, but it's often what defines a champion in our sport.
Well, I think at a U.S. Open, the USGA is testing a player as much mentally, psychologically, as they are physically. And inherent in that is the idea that golf wasn't always meant to be fair. How do you deal with that bad break? You going to let it affect you the rest of the round, or are you going to put it behind you and continue to move forward? A U.S. Open to me, Frank, has always been about kind of the climb up Everest. It's not going to be easy. There will be setbacks along the way. The idea is to make it to the top of the mountain.
And that's why when they etch that name on the trophy, it's there for more than one reason.
this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
Good contact, good result. Frank, at a 72-hole stroke play event, do you like birdie fests where, say, 28, 30 under par might win it, or do you like a good old-fashioned grind them out where you might be able to win the championship at, say, 7, 8 under par?
Yeah, I like the latter, really, because I think it tests the mental fortitude. Normally, if people are in the mid-20s under, the golf course is a little easier, it's a little more forgiving, greens are flatter and all that, and therefore, I'm not saying it's one-dimensional, but it's closer to that. When you have a good old barn brawn out there with the rough thick and bunkers are difficult and greens are fast and undulating, every part of your game is stressed to the limit. And sort of 10 under, I always think, is like a really good litmus test for a great tournament.
And he has it for birdie. Well, Frank, what a stretch of tough par fours here at Chambers Bay. Now to the 7th, long uphill par 4 and a lot of trouble to the right.
Yeah, and it's all sand, that's for sure. If you miss the field on the left, then it's all dunes, so take your pick, really. But ideally, that green piece that the superintendent often mows each and every day, that's the place to go. And for a U.S. Open at 508 yards, if you miss that little green strip, then this hole will be hazardous because it's going to play a lot longer than that uphill.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Well, he gave us a demonstration today why he's one of the best in the sport. Every green hit in regulation. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, we know we're at a U.S. Open, 500-yard par 4s, and here a better than 600-yard par 5 at the 8th.
Yeah, you need a missile really off the tee to be able to reach this par 5 and 2, and not a single bunker really on this hole. So this is just long every stretch of the way. The fairway actually looks a little bit narrower than what it is. There's a little bit more fairway than actually what meets the eye at first.
Frank, you've played golf courses all over the world. How would you define links golf?
Well, I think you go back to St. Andrews, really. The true links golf courses were built on wasteland. That's why there were dune areas, and even St. Andrews used to be an archery. They used to do archery there on Sundays, and that when the golf course was closed. So it's land that wasn't used for anything else. You're obviously playing in the elements. There's very little protection. Most links courses, you struggle to find any trees. Chambers Bay, no exception. Oh, that's fine.
Frank, you've played in conditions all over the world. Here come the winds now. What's the mindset?
Well, this is really what separates the men from the boys. This is where you've got to tell yourself, and it's an advantage to you. Obviously, the scores will go up a little bit, given the conditions. But once again, this is going to suit the stronger player today.
You like the old phrase, swing easy when it's breezy?
Definitely when you're hitting it into a head breeze. But down breeze, tee it up a little bit, try and ride that wind some more.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Terrific golf shot, and now that for an easy birdie. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Putting on a show, this tournament moves to 15 under par. Moving on here at the U.S. Open, we've seen long par fours, not unusual, long par fives, and now we finish this front nine, Frank, with a par three.
And this is a great example of how a U.S. Open can level the field. Everybody's going to get a tee and a ball here, and this is about hitting your best shot. And this is one hole. If you're struggling a little bit, a little two here is going to go in a long way, pushing you around in the right direction.
This is going to be a tough day on the links. I mean, even the seagulls are walking to work. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read, and missed out on that second part. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Nothing wrong with that par putt. And that wraps up the third round. Just one more to go before we crown our champion.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm looking at my crystal ball, Rich, but that champion that we see tomorrow might be the one just sitting at the leaderboard on top of it right now.
EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live final round coverage of the 115th U.S. Open Championship. Welcome to Chambers Bay with its massive rolling fairways, towering dunes, undulating greens, and unpredictable coastal winds. This links-style course providing the backdrop for the world's best golfers here at the U.S. Open. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo will call every shot today for EA Sports. Frank, what is Chambers Bay all about?
A nice blend of links and parkland golf, really. You can still play the ball, through the air, play your own style of play, but it just looks like you've got to play the ball along the ground, almost link style. These huge cavernous-type bunkers that adorn the sides of the fairways, big greens, undulating greens. It really is a wonderful test, and off the back, it can play very long. Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my eye.
It looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through.
I've seen some long tee shots, but it's the advantage to tee that ball up, get it up there quickly, get the wind behind you. It's amazing how far you can hit it.
Good swing, good shot yet again. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man.
See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. It's putt for birdie.
Continues to roll it very well all day long. Now on to the 11th, and Frank, we are looking at a long par 4 in front of us.
We are indeed, and it's called shadows, but there is love in the shadows here. Hit it over that dune down there in the middle of the fairway. If you can get it there around the 300-plus yard mark, then the hole obviously starts to get a little easier. And that second shot, you'd like to hit a little bit of a cut in here. But there's 2 levels to this green, so make sure you're on the right level where that flag is. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
The 11th hole. Frank, what's ahead here?
This is another green that's sort of sloped. There's a lot of little slopes in this green here, plus the green angles from right to left. So it just depends on whether that second shot that lands. You've got to be well aware of what you're landing on. If you're landing on a downslope, it's going to kick forward. Obviously, an upslope, it's going to stop that much quicker. Even par, currently.
Down it. That's a birdie. Frank, when you think of U.S. Opens, you so often think of a tough grind. But in recent years, they've added some spice with the reachable par 4s, and we have one right here at the 12th.
And this is the reason why we're starting to see a different type of U.S. Open champion over the years. The Rory McIlroys, the Tiger Woods, even Martin Keimer. Guys that are strong enough, powerful enough to take advantage of these type of holes.
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot. So early on the backside here at the 12th hole, missed opportunity. Has it. Good putt right there. Coming down the stretch here at the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay. Just 6 holes to play. And Frank, this par 4 13th will really test the players.
It is. If someone makes 3 here down the stretch, it will be monumental. A 4 here, no one would leave this hole unhappy.
Good tee shot right in the fairway and plenty long. Frank, what's the best way to get at the 13th here?
Avoid those ridges left and right, or the mounds, should I say. That bunker that's well placed in the front of the green, obviously you've got to carry that, but this one you've really got to keep it in line with the middle of the green.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Drops for a birdie. Frank, a fifth consecutive par 4 here at the U.S. Open. This is the 14th hole, and I'm guessing by the time you set foot on this tee, you'll know exactly where your game is at.
Oh, this one here, great reward for someone that's driving the ball well. If you can drive it down the left middle, avoid that little one-pot bunker in the middle of the fairway, you're going to certainly shorten this hole up. And then you can start to use the contours of this hole too that bend right to left. And 546 yards becomes much shorter than what you would think.
That is an absolute seed. I mean, he just ripped a bullet down the fairway. Oh my goodness, 375 yards.
Good-looking shot right here.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th.
Par yesterday, now for birdie. Oh, I thought he had that. Wrong time to be leaking oil here at the 14th hole, Frank.
Well, to state the obvious too, that was very makeable. That's the one you'd expect to make more often than not. That's going to hurt.
And he makes it for par. Now to the 15th hole here at Chambers Bay and the U.S. Open. It stands out, at least to the eye, because it has the only tree on the golf course.
That's right. That's why it's called lone fir, this hole. And especially when they played off that short tee in the U.S. Open, 167 yards to the middle of the green. This is certainly a chance for a birdie coming in. Surely not.
That one inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Did the job right there. Getting set to take on the finishing holes here at Chambers Bay. How do you do it in the right way, Frank?
Well, when you look down this fairway, obviously everything slopes left to right. That makes this hole actually play a little bit more of a dogleg to the right, even though it doesn't look it. And then, of course, that green up ahead, it's like a tabletop. So precision here is absolutely paramount.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Just 5 feet left. Oh, that hurts. Thought he had it. Just a tap in to finish the hole. Stroke that with authority. Now to the 17th, par 3 here at Chambers Bay.
Yeah, they say beached at 16, that's the name. This one's called derailed. So you imagine coming down the stretch of a US Open, exactly what you're going to require. That's your best golf, and you're going to need your best tee shot here at this par 3. It mightn't be overly long, but when you look at that green just sitting up there perched, this one you do not want to make a mistake in.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. That has to feel good. That's a birdie. Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walking golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course.
Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. Anything you do differently with your setup?
Just dig my feet into the sand a little bit more, but make sure you focus on the exact spot on the ball you want to hit.
Right, the approach shot is on the green, but he'll have a very testy putt coming up. It has come down to this: to win the U.S. Open. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Just an amazing... this week. Just one player standing, and that was earned, well-deserved, beautifully played.